Now, there are three primary elements to effectively managing your state. I've talked about some of these already, but I want to break them down specifically for you right now. Now, the first key element of managing your state is the ability to direct on purpose your mental focus, meaning to be able to choose actively what you decide to focus on and what you decide to ignore. If you focus on your problems, you will crash right into them. You almost attract the things that you focus on. So just imagine, and this is another universal force, that you attract to yourself what you focus on, right? Not from 80,000 miles, right? But like, when you end up essentially in your immediate area, you focus on stuff and moves towards you. So what happens if you're focusing on all the crap in your life? You become a giant crap magnet. You actually attract crap into your life, right? If you focus on all the good things and all the things that you want, those things will move towards you. So as you saw, if you choose to focus on the negative aspect of what's going on in your life, you're going to end up feeling disempowered and uncertain about yourself. And ultimately, you'll end up attracting more negativity into your life, right? It's that universal law. And conversely, if you choose to focus on the positive aspects of your life, then you'll end up feeling empowered and certain about yourself. And you'll ultimately attract positive things into your life. It's essentially like begets like. Now, the second part of managing your state is how you use your body, or in more scientific terms, your physiology. You see, there are certain ways we hold our body that instantly put us into a more positive, empowered state. And there are other ways we hold our body that do the exact opposite. They put us into a disempowered state. Now, I want to cut to the live footage here because there's a really cool exercise I want you to watch that illustrates just how powerfully our physiology affects our mental state. So watch this closely and I'll see you in a minute. Everyone just sit back in your chair, relax, and take a deep breath. Just settle down. I want everyone here to close your eyes for a second, okay? Take a deep breath. I'm not going to hypnotize you, I promise. Don't let me barking like a chicken up here, okay? Close your eyes, okay? And I want everyone just to think of a time in their life when they were in a sort of a low energy state. Like not a sad time, but like a negative time when you felt bored. And everyone just slump your shoulders over. Slump them over. Maybe drop your head down for a second. And try to just think of a time you were bored and lacked energy and lacked motivation. Go to a specific time in your life and see what you were seeing at that moment, where you were, who you were associated with. There's a time where you felt maybe like a loser a bit, not a good time. Just give that a couple of seconds here. And then as you're doing that, I want you to just really slump your shoulders and drop your head. Now pick up your head real quick, okay? Shake up your head a little bit. Shake it off for a second, okay? Just think about pink elephants flying through the air. Don't think about pink elephants. If you thought about pink elephants, okay? Anyway, anyone get that sort of negative, who felt a little bit negative when they started like getting to that negative? So you ever feel a little down energy there, right? You feel down energy, right? Now I want you to try this. I want you to look up at the ceiling, look up at the ceiling and smile at the ceiling. Smile broadly at the ceiling, and now think of something really, really sad while you're smiling. Who's having trouble thinking of something sad? Stop, put your head down. Who had trouble thinking of something sad while they were smiling? It's very hard. What happens is your physiology and your mind, your focus, are intertwined with one another. It's very hard to look up to look and smile and think unhappy thoughts. The same way, it's very hard to try to think of happy moments and sit there and be sad. Like if I said to you right now, for $10,000, there's a person behind that door, by the screen, a depressed person. For $10,000, is their head up or down? Which one? Down. Are they have their shoulders back or are their shoulders curled forward? Forward. Are they breathing deeply or shallow? Shallow, right? Everyone says the same thing. We didn't set this up. Right? And it's not an Australian thing, it's not an Asian thing or a US thing, it's a human thing, okay? Now I want you to look up at the ceiling, smile at the ceiling and think of a really happy moment. Okay, now look down, and who found it easy to find a happy moment now? Right, you did. It's called being congruent. When your physiology, your body, the way you move your body, matches what your focus is, what you're thinking about, it tends to create the emotion that you want very easily. Your focus and your physiology creates an emotion. When there's dissonance, when they're hitting against each other, when you're trying to think of something positive but your body's negative, they don't work. Okay, so you can see from that exercise that logically one of the first things you need to do if you want to pop into an empowered state is to start moving your body differently. It's one of the most critical elements of state management, to be completely conscious of your own physiology in as much as how you're actually holding yourself, your shoulders, your head, your eyes, your own breathing, in fact. You need to be completely certain that the way your current physiology is congruent with what puts you in an empowered state and not a disempowered state, which will make it nearly impossible to pop into one. In other words, if your physiology is wrong, it's very, very difficult to pop into that peak empowered state. Okay? Now, the third element of state management is actually a result of the first two, and it's the emotion that you feel, which is created from being, number one, very selective about what you choose to focus on in your life, right? You focus on the good things, and you'll end up feeling good about yourself. Bad things, you feel bad about yourself, right? And number two, being not just aware, but almost vigilant of how you're holding your body and your overall physiology that you've adopted to make sure that it supports the triggering of a peak empowered state.